TGL has been making a lot of headlines recently, Tiger Woods and Rory. What do you make of it? And would you like to see LPGA players get an opportunity to participate in something like that?
Nelly playing with Tiger or Rory, like that'd be so sweet. I think the bones of the TGL are really good.
A lot of American players, they dream about Solheim. What did it mean to you?
I think it's something that I never really thought it's possible up until about a year and a half ago.
Who was the one player who made your debut easy for you, do you think?
Started off with Rose. Her caddy, Ollie, and my caddy, Terry, are really good
There's
friends.
still a pay gap between men and women. Do you think that needs to be addressed? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Essentially Sports, to Lauren Coughlin, one of the best golfers on the planet. What an absolute pleasure to welcome you. Thanks for joining us. What a beautiful year you had. How's everything going, and how excited are you for the new season?
Yeah, last year was obviously extremely fun. I played a lot of really good golf and had a lot of fun doing it. And I'm really excited, to kind of try to see if I can keep it going into 2025. I have Tournament of Champions next week, so really excited to kind of go and get the year going.
You joined the tour in 2018, right? And then you had a 6 year wait for your first win. What was the mindset like? And then everything seemed to fall into place for you.
Yeah, I mean, my first couple years out were pretty tough. A lot of, not good golf and just, trying to really kind of get my feel for how to be a professional. Um, but I just kind of st kept hanging in there and trying to get better. And finally, last year, just things kind of started to happen. I started putting myself in the position to see how I would react. I hadn't had all that many like top tens and things like that. And kind of towards the beginning of the season, I kind of started to put myself in, you know, being close to the lead coming down the stretch on Sunday, and eventually I was able to get it done in Canada and then a couple of weeks later in Scotland. But it's been a long road, but I think it made last year that much more special.
Talk to us about Scotland. How did everything just fall into place for you? What was the secret?
Scotland, I had never really played well in wind up until about the last year or so. I'd always, tried to fight it, and finally just was like, okay, I'm just gonna let the wind do whatever it needs to do to the golf ball. If that means I gotta play it to 40 yards right and let the wind take it way to the left, then I'm gonna let it do it. But I think I just started really kind of I was in really good control of my golf ball that week. I was putting really well. And, again, I was having a ton of fun. I really enjoy playing over there and being in Scotland. And so I think it was just a lot of just really good golf was playing that week.
We often see golfers struggle outside of the US. Why do you think that is, and why do you think it's gone well for you?
I think it's just, we don't have a lot of golf courses that play to where, you actually need to get the ball on the ground. A lot of our golf courses, you wanna hit it high in the air and get it to stop quickly. And Scotland, it's kind of the exact opposite. And so, and there's not really many places in the US that you can go find that type of golf to really kind of practice. And so I think until you go over there and really experience it and get a feel for it, you don't really know what to do. Um, so I think that's probably a big reason. It's just a very different type of golf from what a lot of our courses in the US are like.
It's pretty micro. I don't know off the top of your head if you can think of it, but what was your favorite shot you played this year or last year?
I think my favorite shot would be the putt that I made on 17 in the final day of my in the singles match of Solheim Cup. Maya had hit it in there to like 4 feet, and I had clawed all the way back from being three down to all square going into 17, and I just knew how much even just a half point would mean, and so to not go one down going into 18 was huge, and to kind of keep that match all square, it was probably my favorite putt I've ever made.
A lot of American players, they dream about Solheim. What did it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that I never really thought was possible up until about a year and a half ago, when I kind of like came to realization like how close the Solheim Cup was going to be to my where I live in Virginia, and I was like, there's just no way that I'm not going to be on that team, and did everything I could, for that year, a little over a year leading up to make sure I could get on the team and play well. And it was better than, everyone always says it's like the best week of your career, and I feel like that everybody kind of undersold it.
That's really cool to hear, that so some things in life are better in your head and then the reality is different, but that's very cool to hear. Who was the one player who made your debut easy for you, do you think?
I started off with Rose, and her caddy Ollie and my caddy Terry are really good friends. And Rose is just such a cool and like chill person that I think it made me feel a lot more calm than I probably thought I was going to feel. And she's just so good, and she played great that whole week. And so I think that just starting off with Rose was a really good start.
You seem to just be enjoying your golf and playing the best golf of your career. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of, just reflecting on last year, I'm hopeful that, I was playing good golf because I was having so much fun, and not that I was having so much fun because I was playing good golf. Um, you know, I was just really happy off the golf course as well, which I think always leads to being happy on the golf course, which leads to good golf. My husband came out with me for the first time full time last year, and I think that was a huge thing. My coach was out there, John Llewellyn was out there a lot more last year than he had in the past. And so I think I just started to get really good at just managing my game week to week. And I think it showed in my results.
Your husband quit his full-time job to become your caddy. That's super romantic and cool. What was your first response to that?
Yeah, so he ended up caddying for me. He wasn't going to caddy for me initially. Mord was just going to kind of be like my manager, doing all my logistical stuff, which he was already doing anyways, booking my travel, helping me plan my travel. Um, And then I ended up firing my longtime caddy after the Asian swing. And so no one really was, no one was really in that. I wasn't really interested in anybody that was kind of available. And so I was like, John, my husband, he, had been begging me to let him caddy for me. So I was like, all right, let's just do it for this few weeks and see how it goes. And I ended up starting to play pretty well. But I also got the opportunity to start working with Terry McNamara, who caddied for Annika Sorenstam for 69 of her wins. So that was kind of a opportunity for me that I felt like I couldn't really pass up, just trying to see what, if anything, if I could learn from him. He was around the greatest player ever for a really long time. So I felt like there was a lot of knowledge there that I could hopefully try to soak up. But I did really well with my husband on the bag as well. And it was super fun, and I'm really glad we got to do a lot of that, experience together. But he's going to start caddying for another player this year. So he absolutely loves it. So I'm excited for him.
Good to hear. What is it that you love about this sport? What drives you to stay disciplined and continue to deal with the ups and downs, the pressure? What draws you to this time and again?
I think I really love competing, and it's just kind of my way of doing that. It's something that I'm pretty good at, I would say. And um yeah, I think I just love trying to get better. I love competing. I love playing in tournaments. I always have, and I'm just fortunate enough that I get to do it as my job now too.
What do you think you would say to your 10-year-old self? Would you give any advice? I imagine you'd be quite proud of yourself.
Yeah, I don't think I would believe you. Um yeah, I would tell them to, things are going to get hard, but at times, and you're going to struggle, but you're going to get through them, and so don't worry about it.
And what about the next generation of young players? What advice would you have for them?
That's a good one. Um, I think that I would tell them to never give up, to always keep trying, to always keep trying to get better. You just never know how good you're going to get. You never know when the last time you're going to get to play. You never know when anything like that's going to happen. So give everything you have to it and try as hard as you can and just see what happens with that.
With the way that you've risen the bar, how do you deal with that? Your status, your goals, have they changed? And do you feel added pressure? What's the plan for this year?
Yeah, I think this year is going to be a lot different than I'm used to, just in the sense that I'm already getting a lot more media requests. I'm already getting, a lot more people pulling, for my attention and my time. And, it's the perks of the job, it means you're playing really good golf. And so I think just trying to kind of manage that as best I can, just because it's a little bit different. And I know everyone says, just learn to say no. And I don't think I've done that yet. I just feel like you want to kind of, everything's a really good opportunity. And so I'm going to try to manage it as best I can while also trying to just, again, see if I can keep getting better, working on things that I think I need to get better at. Um, keep doing the things that I do that I do well. And, just trying to see, again, I'm just trying to see how good I can get. I don't really know what that is. Just gonna try to keep improving as best I can. And, my goals have changed. I really want to, obviously I want to win again. It was so much fun. Um, the international crown is something that I think is going to be really cool and really fun. It's going to be in Korea, which I mean, the fans over there are just incredible. So to get to experience that in Korea just seems really, really fun. Solheim Cup in 2 years in the Netherlands, like that's a huge goal for mine as well. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I want to still accomplish, but the main thing that I got to do is just try to get better at like the little things.
It was such a good year for women's golf. Nelly 7 wins, Lydia Ko's Hall of Fame, the Olympics. There's still a pay gap between men and women. Do you think that needs to be addressed?
Yeah, I mean, how much money did Scotty Scheffler make last year, and how much money did Nelly make last year on course? Um, and they had, very comparable years, I would say, in terms of how many times they won and their dominance that they had. It's unfortunate, and I think, we're moving in the right direction. I just wish it would be a little bit faster.
We have 200,000 subscribers now to our Essentially Sports Golf newsletter, and of course, they're all very keen to work on their short game. They've been asking us a lot recently. So, do you have any top tips for short game?
The one that I keep going back to, I'm in Florida right now, and so really grainy Bermuda. Um, a really easy one is, so the club doesn't dig. You kind of get really on top of the ball with the heel kind of up and you hit it almost like a putt. And because the heel of the club is generally what digs in the really grainy grass. So if you have, and the most of the bounce is on the toe of the club. So if you have the heel off the ground and more just try to hit it with the toe, it's not really ever going to dig. And so you can kind of control it that way.
Fantastic. Thank you. And the TGL has been making a lot of headlines recently, Tiger Woods and Rory. What do you make of it? And would you like to see LPGA players get an opportunity to participate in something like that or TGL itself?
I actually went last night to the New York Atlanta drive. And I'd been watching it, the previous couple weeks, and it was actually really cool to go see it in person. Um, I felt like you kind of could feel the energy and stuff. But I did, it would be really, really cool, I think, to do like a mixed team. Like I think that it's a really just easy thing to do and a huge win and to just really be different, and that's going to drive, I think, people to want to watch it and see, Nelly playing with Tiger or Rory. Like that'd be so sweet. So I think the bones of the TGR are really good. I think still think that there's some stuff that they can improve on it, but I think like I said, I had a good time going last night and watching it.
Brittany Lincecum recently spoke up about scheduling issues with the LPGA. So, how important is it that they address this to continue the growth that they've been seeing?
Yeah, I mean, we're professional athletes, and the hardest part of our job is the travel. And so to have a really schedule that flows really, geographically is a big thing just to kind of ease our bodies and not put as much stress on it. And so I think it's getting better. A couple years ago was pretty rough. There's still, I think, some room for improvement on it, but overall, I think it's starting to flow a lot better.
Charlie Hull recently has been urging some extreme penalties for slow play. A lot of players agree with her. Nelly Corder, I think, agrees as well. What do you think could be done to sort this out?
One, the rules actually need to be enforced. We need more rules officials. We really just don't have enough out there, I don't think, to actually be able to like enforce the true rules of pace of play. But also like fines and stuff are just fines just don't really do anything, in my opinion. Like if you know you're still gonna make the cut, it's worth it to save yourself a stroke and just pay the 2,500 bucks or whatever it is, right? And so I think the only real way is to stroke people. If they hit a bad time, there's no warning, you got a bad time, stroke penalty. There's just no other way that, or two-stroke penalty, whatever it is. I just don't think finding people is the way. They just see it as worth it to a worthwhile investment, I guess you could say, and they'll take the fine, no problem. But if it's actual stroke penalties, it can make a humongous difference on whether you're finishing fifth or third or making the cut or missing the cut. And I just think there's a lot more repercussions if it's a stroke penalty or two-stroke penalty or whatever it might be.
We're going to see a new commissioner for the LPGA. Is there any goals that you would like to see fulfilled?
Yeah, I think purses are always a big thing. I think getting on TV more is a huge thing for us. There's some way that they can get us more on TV, whether it's, starting to pay for us to be on YouTube. That's YouTube golf is taking off huge, and at least in the US, I know it is. And that's where people are starting to go and watch a lot of their golf. Um, but I just think getting us on TV, getting our personalities out there as well is just such a big way to grow our fans. And it's just kind of it's sad because a lot of people don't get to watch us on TV because of how few times we actually get put on.
You and Lexi Thompson seem to share a special bond during the Solheim Cup. What was your reaction to her retirement? Would you have liked to see her try for the Hall of Fame one last time?
Yeah, Lexi had become a friend, over the last like year and a half or so. So it was cool that we got to get paired together in Saturday alt shot. And I mean, I grew up watching, it's funny, I'm older than Lexi, but like I grew up watching Lexi Thompson on TV. So it was kind of really cool for me. She's gonna be a legend of the game, one of the most recognizable figures in the LPGA. And we're gonna miss her. I know she's still gonna play, I think, a little bit here and there, just because she loves golf that much. But, I'm really happy for her that she's gonna go and take some time and go be Lexi Thompson and just see what she I know she really wants to just like go travel and travel not for golf, travel for fun, which I get that, a lot of people, for golfers, when we have off time, people are like, "Oh, aren't you going to go on vacation?" And I'm like, "No, like I just want to be home." I travel all the time. Like I don't get to be home all that often, and so being home is really special. That's kind of like my vacation. But I'm excited for her to just be able to go, kind of relax and take some time for herself.
Is the Hall of Fame something that you think about? Is that on your golf bucket list?
Yeah, I would say I haven't really thought about it. Um, I mean, it would be an absolute honor if were to, accrue enough points to get into the LPGA Hall of Fame to be with some of the the biggest names, the biggest stars, the Lorena Ochoas, the Annika Sorensens, the people that I grew up watching. Um, but I would say it's not necessarily on my radar, but I would love to go. And I mean, it would be a true honor.
Who's your favorite player to watch right now, male or female? Male and female.
Hmm. I mean, Scotty is unbelievable to watch what he can do with a golf ball. His short game is unbelievable too. You know, everyone talks about his ball striking, but his short game is very, very good as well. Um, and then on my side, I would say I love watching Lydia. Lydia is probably one of my favorites to watch. Again, like she's a magician with a wedge in her hand, and she hits this little like she doesn't always like hitting 3-wood off the tee sometimes, and so she tees down the driver like this and hits this like little squeeze cut with the driver, and it's so cool to watch. Instead of like hitting a 3-wood, she does that. So like little things, and again, she can do anything she wants with a wedge in her hand. She gets them up and down from everywhere. Um, so I would say those were my two.
Great shouts. Is there one major that you crave the most?
Mm. I mean, probably the US Open, just US Open or the British Open would be probably one, two, or probably really probably tied. Either one of those would be just incredible. And yeah, I would love either one of those.
We're gonna wrap up with a rapid fire. So, let's say there's a movie based on the life of the LPGA golfers. Which actresses would you want to play you?
Oh boy. Um, I would like Scarlett Johansson maybe. Um,
Great shout. And what about Nelly Corda?
ooh, tall. I don't know, maybe like Nicole Kidman or something, the blonde hair.
Excellent choice. Annika
Hmm.
Sorenstam.
Hmm. That's a tougher one, I feel like. Maybe like a Florence Pugh. I could see that.
Good call. And Lexi Thompson.
Hmm. Maybe I don't know. Trying to think of another good actor, like another top actress. Um, Blake Lively.
Okay, what's your biggest regret in golf?
Um, I wish I could have started a little bit better on my Sunday singles at Solheim Cup. I was just kind of a little flustered there the first few days, or that first few holes, and just didn't hit some really bad shots there that I hadn't hit in a while, and I just got off to such a slow start that I wish I could have a couple of those holes back.
What's one purchase you never felt guilty of splurging on?
Mhm. Oh, I know. Um, I really wanted a pair of Travis Scott's Jordans. And so after Evian, I finally pulled the trigger and paid, the secondary market on them. And I wear them all the time.
Well deserved. If you could take one skill from Annika Sorenstam, what would it be and why?
I would say her distance control with her wedges. And I only know that because Terry tells me that that's what she was better at than me. So that's what I would take.
I think you already covered this, but again, the one change, if you could put it into action tomorrow as LPGA commissioner, what would you do?
Yeah, I think I would do whatever I could to get out of the TV deal that we currently have and get a much better one.
Let's see how we go. It was really an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much from everyone at Essentially Sports. Wishing you all the best for this year. What an exciting time for you, for your family. Maximum respect. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. No worries.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers.